Patrick Sasser, Coach Rockbridge here, coaches. Neal Blackburn, of course, and then Patrick Sasser and Mark Miltenberg.
Matt Miltenberg.
Matt Miltenberg, okay. If we would have been here all night, I wouldn't have had a chance. But coaches, you're about 7th or 8th year at Rockbridge now?
Actually 11th.
11th, oh my goodness, okay. Well, what'd you think coming into, and you're previously at Osceola, is that right?
That's correct, yes.
Obviously coming to a big school, like Rockbridge, you've probably got a lot more opportunity to get athletes. Tell me what your initial thoughts or mindset was taking a job at Rockbridge.
Oh, mercy. Having 12 kids at Osceola for the cross-country team was like 10% of the student body, and it was a really big deal. And I thought it was great having double-digit kids. And then when I got to Rockbridge, actually, my first year we only had like 19, 20 kids
right.
at Rockbridge, so it was kind of like, I guess it's not that much different. But then, of course, you go to your first meet and you realize how good everybody is. And I knew I grew up in St. Louis, so coming from a Class 4 program, going to a Class 4 program as a coach, I knew what I was getting into, but it was a rough start.
Yeah. Well, you've done a phenomenal job. I think 40 boys on the roster today, and how many girls? Maybe 30?
35, 36 girls. Yeah.
That's impressive numbers. But and obviously had some great success with the boys and girls last couple of years. The boys with a couple trophies and a runner-up finish last year. Do you sit down with the boys after track season or going into the summer and say, hey, look, we've got something really special that we can do here and get everybody on the same page, or what?
Essentially, we're always talking about it, and coaches and I are always talking about it, and these guys are talking about it with the guys, and it helps. Coach Miltenberg's a counselor at the high school, and Coach Sasser works in the Career Center, so we're all kind of in different buildings, and when we get a chance to corner the kids, we really try to do the best we can to get them excited for cross country. And the kids, the biggest thing is they've really bought into what we've asked them to do, and I think more than anything, they've done it together. And
yeah.
That's really kind of been our theme, is if we're going to do it, we're going to do it together, and we don't want necessarily an individual stand out, we want the group to stand out.
Right.
That's really the goal.
I'll let each of you guys comment on just what kind of some special qualities you see in this team and some of the individuals, and what's led to their success and their
Well, I'll just say that this group of kids has really grown. So when they started, Caleb, when I started coaching, these kids were freshmen. So Caleb was a freshman, Jay was a freshman, Sam Garrett, Jordan Cook was a freshman, Sam Garrett was a freshman, Emily Wright was a freshman, and they've really grown the program. They've really grown. Those kids have really grown the program into, how many seniors? There's like 17, right? Yeah, 17 seniors from those kids right there. And just to really see them kind of progress throughout the years has been pretty amazing. And I've shared, so many seasons with all these different kids, with track, cross country, and then like Caleb, I've got 2 classes at the Career Center this year and 2 classes last year, and he's my TA. So it's like I got all these classes with him. I've seen him grow and stuff like that. So just the way the team atmosphere that this team has is really special. And to see the work they put in over the summer too was pretty amazing. Just the miles they put in together.
So Caleb actually has some responsibilities in class to lead others, or what?
Every once in a while he can be a high achiever in the classroom when he wants to be.
Yeah, yeah.
So he's a special kind of student, a different kind of kid that you can't always take the same approach you do with everybody else. It's very individualized with him. So
yeah. Well, it's been fun to watch him grow over the last couple of years, and just not a quiet, shy kid. You enjoy hearing what he has to say, and.
He's not quiet and shy. He was so much worse his freshman year.
I was going to say,
he was so much louder.
One of the coolest things about these men and women that we get to coach with is just how they've grown as people too.
Yeah.
Obviously the girls have always kind of been a real tight-knit group and really knows how to work together, but the maturity level that we've seen rise out of the guys over the last year, sort of like when they saw what was at stake and what they could do together, the way they've really come together and grown. And we were just talking about at lunch today, just the change that we've seen in them as people over the last 3 years.
Yeah.
So it's cool to be involved on that side of it as well.
What's that feeling like when they come to the end of a high school career and they've excelled athletically, and then also in this classroom and go on to college, and what are those feelings like?
It's exciting, but it's also the hardest part of your job.
Yeah.
you know, Lauren Bourdain, Philip King, you know, it was time to say goodbye to those guys. You know, it's just, you know, and you feel like you've bled life into your program, and then you see those kinds of kids go, and it's just such a hard thing. You know, it's a selfish thing, but at the same time, you know, there's that attachment to them because of what they've really put into your program and the blood, sweat, and tears that they've gone through and shared together. So,
yeah. Well, what's next? So, tell me quickly just about the Chicago trip and what that experience is like. Obviously, SLU made the trip last year and had some success. You guys the men had a great race, and the women also. But who wants to just recap what that experience was like?
I'm glad that he had his iPhone. I mean, we on 2 school buses, Michigan Avenue. If you can just imagine, it was crazy. But I mean, they handled themselves really well. And from the running side of things, we knew that we weren't going to waste our time making this trip. The fundraising efforts put together by them and the parents and was quite the ordeal. And so we didn't want to waste the opportunity that we had. I mean, we knew that we were on a kind of a national stage there, and so we looked at it as a real growing opportunity, feeling like it may be among one of our top 3 most competitive meets of the season.
Yeah, when you take 80 kids to Chicago on 2 school buses, like everything just takes way longer. I mean, just to go through the line to get sodas at Noodles & Co. Powerade, excuse me. It takes like 2 hours. I mean, the kids are like just taking their time, picking every little thing. So that was probably the hardest part, just the time and effort. Like everything got pushed back. You know, we were 2 hours late just trying to get to the course to practice the night before the meet and stuff like that. Everything just got pushed back. But I mean, and that's why I think it's so special to what the kids did. Considering they spent 2 nights in a hotel, they were exhausted from all the travel and stuff like that. That's why I think it's so special just with what they did. Running against some great competition. I mean, on the girls' side, we got 9th, and I feel so lucky to just have been in the top 10.
Yeah.
They were so good. On the guys' side, Palatine's incredible, and it was great to just compete and run with York. And lots of other, Illinois schools out there too. So I mean, it was a special trip.
And I think the biggest thing is it's really expanding the kids' vision of what's possible. I think the last couple of years, we've been really focused on the state meet, and then Nike's been like a reward, but a good experience. But I think this year, going to that meet and having them see what's possible is really